Second Chronicles chapter 26. Now all the people of the land took Uzziah, who was 16 years old, and made him king instead of his father Amaziah. He built Elath and restored it to Judah after the king rested with his fathers. Uzziah was 16 years old when he became king, and he reigned for 52 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Jechaliah of Jerusalem, and he did what was right in the sight of the Lord, according to everything his father Amaziah had done. He sought the Lord in the days of Zechariah, who was wise in the fear of the Lord. And as long as he sought the Lord made him prosper. Now he went out and made war against the Philistines, and broke down the walls of Gath, the wall of Jabneh, and the wall of Ashdod. And he built cities around Ashdod and among the Philistines. God strengthened him against the foreigners, against the Arabs who lived in the rock, and against the Meunites. And the Meunites brought tribute to Uzziah. His fame spread as far as the entrance of Egypt, for he became exceedingly strong. And Uzziah built towers in Jerusalem at the corner gate, at the valley gate, and at the corner buttress of the wall. And he fortified them. He also built towers in the desert. He dug many wells, for he had a great deal of livestock, both in the lowlands and in the plains. He had vine dressers in the mountains and in Carmel, for he loved the soil. Moreover, Uzziah had an army of fighting men who went out to war by companies, according to the number on their roll, as prepared by Jeiel the scribe and Maaseiah the officer, under the hand of Hananiah, one of the king's captains. The total number of chief officers of the mighty men of valor was 2,600. And the power of an expert military force, equal to 307,500, was with them to help the king against the enemy. And for each of them, spears, helmets, body armor, bows, and slings for stones. And in Jerusalem, he built devices invented by skilled men for the launching of javelins and large stones, and placed them on the towers and corners of the devices. And the fame of his preparing for war was heard far and wide, for he was helped marvelously till he became strong. But when he was strong, his heart was lifted up to his destruction. For he transgressed against the Lord his God by entering the temple of the Lord to burn incense on the incense altar. So Azariah the priest went in after him, and with him were 80 valiant priests of the Lord. And they challenged King Uzziah and said to him, "It is not for you, Uzziah, to burn incense to the Lord, but for the priests, the sons of Aaron, who are consecrated to burn incense. Leave the sanctuary, for you have rebelled against the Lord. You shall have no honor from the Lord God." Then Uzziah became furious with the priests while holding a censer in his hand to burn incense. And while he had a censer in his hand to burn incense, leprosy broke out on his forehead before the priests in the house of the Lord, next to the incense altar. And Azariah the chief priest and all the priests looked on, for he was leprous on his forehead. So they thrust him out of the place, and indeed he hurried, because the Lord reproached him. King Uzziah was a leper until the day of his death, and because he was a leper, he dwelt in an isolated house and was excluded from the house of the Lord. Then Jotham his son was over the king's house, judging the people of the land. Now the rest of the acts of Uzziah, from first to last, are written by the prophet Isaiah. So Uzziah rested with his fathers, and they buried him with his fathers in the field of burial that belonged to the kings, for they said, "He is a leper." Then Jotham, his son, reigned in his place.